Welcome to channel AMake, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now we have a new Australian government and looks like they're going to add more quotas intake and for migration purpose. And obviously we have seen over the past week the new elected Labour government has noticed there has been a lot of internal problem that connected to economy of Australia. Well, obviously that's within the scope of my prediction 3 years ago. So what will happen? What would a government of Australia do and react towards perhaps to avoid a potential recession coming affected by the inflation? Well, usually how the government of Australia has done in the past in the Australian history is to increase migration quota. So the more migration intake will actually assist the economy. Today's video is all about Global Talent Independent Visa, which under the subclass 858 is the most prioritized visa nowadays, even faster than a business investment visa. So a lot of people are putting inquiry in. There has been a lot of delay as well. Now, over the past 12 months, there has been a significant change to the policy because they had, due to numbers of interest, I think there's gonna be thousands and thousands out there. However, obviously the quota for GTI is limited, and that is also the reason when you lodge an EOI, perhaps you have never really received any response, perhaps has been a prolonged waiting. Now in this video I'm gonna tell you a little bit of the tricks, whether or not you can actually meet the actual requirement, a policy they have polished over the past 12 months, and just give you a little update. So if you do not and haven't really known about GTI, here we go. Well, obviously in my channel I've done a lot of GTI videos, explanations in every different sectors, definitions from different regulation and law. You may want to check that out in my channel. So within the channel there's a little search bar there, just put in GTI, you should be able to find a playlist that has all the GTI video that I've done over the past. Now just give you a little brief for the eligibility. GTI, obviously they are looking for globally talents. So if you just graduated with a bachelor, master or PhD, you probably won't meet this requirement. People will say, well, what used to be accepting PhD? Yes, there was, but there has been too many PhD graduates around the globe, so they cannot afford to accept everybody. They're looking for a better candidate now. So anyway, there are numbers of sectors that are focusing. So resource, agri-food, energy, health, defense, advanced manufacturing, space, circular economy, digitech infrastructure, finance service, and education. Now whether or not the newly elected government is going to insert more sector, we don't know. That's potentially can be talked about because that only required to invoke another legislative instrument. So anyway, stay to my channel, so make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell so you get all notification right and at the time. Okay, now the talent, there are a couple of things that the GTI required to demonstrate. They need to demonstrate that they have some sort of international recognized with evidence of outstanding achievement. So you cannot just be some engineers been working for 10 years and have not really achieved any internationally recognized whatever the record award. Okay, needs to be expertise in the area, that's pretty sure. And of course once you hit that point, you become an asset of Australia and you will be no difficulty to get employment in Australia and be recognized, and there's recognized individual with national reputable achievement or level to nominate you. All right, so you must be in the following role, either going to be a senior role, you get patents, professional or international publication and membership with some international membership there. Now it does tell about recent PhD, but there's a lot more requirement for PhD. It's getting harder for PhD to actually get GTI because there's just too many PhD, and they cannot demonstrate that they will be able to commercialize their ideas or patents. Although it still stay here, but it's not likely to be there. High income, you need to show that you have income, or you can attract $158,500 annual income from the talent that you have. So generally these will be people, and that's why PhD graduate probably cannot be this way. But there's also waiver if you are a recent graduate, but they're putting certain detailed policy for the PhD unless this PhD graduate's patents or publication can be commercialized. Otherwise, if you're just getting PhD for sole purpose of getting PhD, these kind of people will actually lose out this opportunity there. Now, obviously, I'm going to show you the most recent GTI procedures where they're looking for. Obviously, you see it on the title and in the thumbnail, they're looking for outstanding and strong candidates. So now, what does that mean? Okay, what are the definition of outstanding, and what are the definition of exceptional, and also the strong candidate? What are the definition of these ones? So I'm gonna take you in a number of samples just to show you. But generally, we're talking about these GTI candidate has to show their seniority within the organization that they're working in or employed under. Also, or you need to show a very extensive, outstanding performance of your perhaps research development or publication. These are more like for medical people in health industry, where they continuously provide innovative publications in a medical journal or whatever, and that's obviously not going to be commercializing, because in biomed it's very hard to get commercialized, but your journal and publication has actually shown and improve the research into a certain stage. So you need to show all kind of these kind of elements in the application. So let's go into the first one. I'm taking like the sector of advanced manufacturing. So what are we looking here? We're looking at this page. Obviously, discard about the left hand side, the specialization, what you can, but obviously you can see the specialization. There are a lot of people in those specialization, but we're looking for the right on top of me right there, okay, where it says global talent profile. Now, taking a look at the very bottom of the right hand side, it says the following experiences would not usually meet the parameter, and these are the general engineer, technician, machine operator, draftsperson, sales and admin. So they are not looking for someone like that, but they're looking for what we are going to talk about today is the exceptional or strong candidates. So these are the major element nowadays for GTI to actually get invited. If you're not within this scope, perhaps you will miss out GTI. So starting from exceptional, so you are either a leading researcher, chief technology officer. So that all shows that you are at a very seniority within the organization structure. Now, bear in mind, they are very large global organization or corporations. So your role may not be senior enough, but at least you got to think about this: how many people you are actually manage and underneath your management. Okay, if they are enough to actually meet that seniority, then obviously you meet that requirement. Okay, and the strong candidate, so senior data scientist, specialist. So these are more like deputy director, manager type of role, where they have extensive experiences in the field of their expertise, and they're leading a team designing something. Okay, so these are the scenario that I'm just going to show you today. And also let's look at circular economy. Now, same thing here. Now, the obviously you will see on the bottom right, it will say the following would not meet these parameters. So engineer, mechanics, sales. So they don't like this kind of people. But obviously we're looking at the exceptional and strong candidates. So who are these ones? Again, they're showing senior well engineering managers. So they're in the fairly top role. So they are managing numbers of engineers. And also strong candidate will be a postdoctoral researchers. So who actually got a PhD. So not just PhD, but after PhD, they are continuously working in the lab, researching for more ideas and more innovative whatever the scientific publication in order to putting into the actual sector or industry, no matter what it is. So they're looking for someone like this. Now thirdly, let's look at education. So I'm only gonna take you to have a look a few sectors. Obviously there are so many sectors out there, but I'm giving you an idea of how your role is so important and important enough to meet the element and to be invited on the GTI's expression of interest. Again, you will see for education sector who would not meet these requirements. So if you're just a researcher, scholar, academic, teaching or lecturing, a lecturer, school teacher, specialist teacher, no, they don't want these people. They want innovative, globally talented in the area of education sector. So who are these ones? So let's have a look. The exceptional candidate will be an executive with track record of setting up universities, center abroad. That's like setting up a system for offshore campus, or perhaps setting up online learning experiences. So renowned learning academic and winner of prestige prizes. So that's the people that they're looking for. A strong candidate can be an ICT solution expert for an e-learning solution provider with a proven experience of success with leading, developing, implementing education tech solution globally. So for example, there are people working under Google that are doing this at the time, especially when this pandemic hit. The e-learning platform is very, very important, and how that could actually deliver the solution for young child. We never thought young child could actually be educated with the iPad at home. We only know that they can play with the iPad with the games, but nowadays sometimes, and in a lot of part of the world, a lot of children are already experiencing that e-learning platform. Research, commercialization, executive with significant experience in education policy, design and strengthening education system. Okay. Now the next one, let's look at finance, financial service and fintech. Again, the same thing. If we go on the right bottom, you may say traditional banker, retail banker, accountants, stockbroker, and you won't meet these requirements. So what they are looking for is this exceptional candidates and also strong candidates. So who are these ones? So CEO, founder of Digitech asset finance service provider, globally service providers, and they generally manage the whole regions by implementing a lot of fintech financial technology, or providing or implementing, or they're putting in the market with a new type of system to analyze data and things like that. A strong candidate will be executive of a multinational corporation, global financial ICT strategist, consulting, artificial intelligence, blah blah blah. That all connects to fintech as well. So as you can see, we are looking for leaders. But by the end of this video, I'll give a summarize of how a candidate of GTI will meet the requirement elements. Now, last but not least, let's go to space. Now, can an astronaut meet this requirement? Well, perhaps. So let's have a look. Okay. Now, in the bottom right again, so engineer, mechanics won't meet those requirements. So astronaut will meet this requirement. If you are only there to fix rockets, perhaps no. But anyway, for space tech, I would say predominantly most of people working in space tech will meet the requirements. So exceptional and strong candidate. Again, exceptional will be renowned space industry leader. So you had invented something, for example, like SpaceX. You can reusable rockets, things like that. Head engineer of avionics, software leading rocket company. A strong candidate, space policy specialist. I'm not too sure what that actually relate with experience of harnessing collaboration between government and industry. So they are putting a policy in the space. All right, okay, cool. That sounds like you gotta negotiate with aliens. Postdoctoral astrophysics. So that's like the astronauts that will meet this requirement. Okay, so again, you see the whole idea of GTI has actually evolved from 2019 and get into 2020. Obviously, COVID-19 came. Over the past 2 or 3 years, we learned that the COVID viruses mutate with all type of different variants. Same thing, GTI is the same thing, okay? Although it's not a virus, it gives you permanent residency, but it does mutate over the past 3 years and evolve into something different. And nowadays, we have the most updated information. The government of Australia is looking for exceptional and strong candidates only. If you're not meeting the exceptional or strong candidate elements, perhaps your EOI, you still can lodge your EOI, but you may wait forever. So that's what happened with a lot of GTI candidate have put in their experiment interest, even with all the supporting evidence in there, and they have never received an invite. So exceptional and strong candidate only. Now, whether or not they're going to expand this definition further with the new government, we don't know, but make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on a little bell on the side. I'll see you next video. Goodbye.